What's going on, Leo? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be your reading for the month of June 2025. So in this reading, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy, some things you do not see coming, and also get some advice from your angels and spirit guides for you, and so much more regarding the month of June. So before we begin this reading, as always, I do want to take a moment to let you know that you are very appreciated here, very welcome here in this space with me at this time as we go through this reading, and I really do appreciate you taking the time to check this reading out. So if this general reading does happen to resonate with you, definitely smash that like button, subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. I would also be very appreciated over here, Leo, so thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's been a while, but crazy stuff is happening in our reality, so bear with me. Thank you so much. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this reading and see what is coming your way for the month of June. For Leo. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Leo for June 2025. Let's see what we got going on here for you, Leo. Interesting energy that you got going on here, Leo, for sure. There may be this feeling in the beginning of June of just not knowing what to do in a certain situation in your life that you want to move forward with. There seems to be a lot going on, so we're going to get into all of it in this reading. But before we get into this reading, let's go ahead and start this reading off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards. And these oracle cards contain the energy that you need more of, the energy that you need to embody. The universe wants you to be in this energy for your own highest good for the month of June. And the first one is self-love. Okay, to love yourself, because in order to be in a good, proper, working relationship with other people, the first person that you have to be in a good relationship with is yourself, right? So instead of scraping by for crumbs to love me, love me, love me, love me, you got to love yourself, and then everyone will love you because you'll have a cup to overflow. Right now, I feel like for many of you recently and into June, there may be this feeling of like you don't have a lot to give, but it's not. I'm even getting that like there is certain new relationships or uplifting relationships that you're going to continue or seek out, but there's something here about loving yourself first and foremost. So self-love is due for you. You are always deserving of people to treat you good. You don't have to wake up and put on some act for someone to treat you good. You don't have to wake up and put on a show in order to be, loved by other people. So you have to show yourself love. You are never undeserving of a harmonious, good relationship. You are never undeserving of giving yourself that. So self-love is the first thing. The next thing is pick me up. You need uplift. So this is about something that will rise your spirits, so to speak. So some sort of inspirational content or some sort of inspirational element needs to be integrated into your life, for June. So make sure that I really feel like that for you. It's important to stay motivated. It's important for you to like tap into something greater than actually yourself. And doing something for its own sake is always going to align you with self-love, because then you're doing something because you love it. So I feel like an uplifting, pick-me-up kind of energy is in store for you, and that's going to definitely involve relationships. I feel like there's this call for you to really surround yourself with people who feed you energy. It's like after you're done listening to them, after you're done talking to someone, do you feel heavy? Do you feel weighed down? Or do you feel uplifted? You want to feel uplifted. You want to surround yourself. The people that you need to surround yourself with are the people that, first of all, allow you to love yourself and love you the way that you are and for the truth of who you are. And then uplifting, inspirational, motivational, which often deals with overcoming challenges. So if you're whatever challenge that you're facing right now, you're really called to like catalyze that, because you're in for a dramatic increase in your life. Like, what I'll say is that you are in for a dramatic raise of your own vibration. It's in the cards for you. So upliftment. Make sure that you're watching things that motivate you. You don't just eat through your food. You eat through everything. And I also think something that would really help you, for some reason it's coming through, is like kind of reprogramming your subconscious mind. So like making a consistent effort to uplift yourself rather than kind of like an escapism upliftment. So if that makes sense. So maybe it's like meditations, maybe it's affirmations, things like that are going to be really important for you. You also have relationship. So there's definitely something about a new relationship for the single Leos. Even if you're in a relationship, there's new relationships coming in. This is what you need. So you have self-love and uplift. But this is really about uplifting types of relationships. Make sure you surround yourself with people who you're actually going to be uplifted by. And I feel like the universe is going to send you them in the month of June. But you have to be open. You have to be receptive to it. Okay, so uplifting relationships. And you also have the catalyst here, which is all about a dramatic, no matter how you draw this card, a dramatic rate of increase is coming for your life in multiple areas. And so as painful as it may be, there's a lot of changes coming to your life in the month of June. And for some of you, you don't see this coming, and like how it may be like subtle changes for some of you that then in retrospect by the end of June you're like, whoa, I'm like a completely different person here. So that's a big energy. So your opportunity is the Page of Pentacles here, which is kind of like before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Your opportunity here may have to do something with getting back to the basics of self-love, doing the dirty work when it comes to self-love. Is what I feel. This may involve some sort of project that you're going to initiate the beginning stages of. The Page of Pentacles is kind of the person who's not afraid to get dirty and do the groundwork, so to speak, lay the foundation and just do the things that, the self-loving work that they'll reap rewards into the future. The day that you plant the seed is not the same day that you eat the fruit. And that's kind of what your opportunity is for the month of June. There may be a certain situation having to do with ego that needs to be balanced out here in your reality or someone that you're around. Okay, and this may involve you loving yourself and not allowing someone else's ego to kind of like run your show to a certain degree, because your opportunity is the Page of Pentacles, and then your challenge is the King of Wands. So for some of you, this is about like your own self and not getting carried away in the ego that actually takes you further away from self-love. And that type of stuff. Now, for some of you, it's about understanding that you're on this phase where in order to be the King of Wands, make it the Queen of Wands. In order to embody this truly, you first have to be a page at first. So that's what I get. I feel like for some of you out there, there's this development that you can't skip the steps. You have to go in order to a certain degree. Doom cheat the game like walkthrough, though. So it's like, but still, you have to do this Page of Pentacles thing. At least it's an opportunity for you. And I feel like just that uplifting, kind of like a humble approach will benefit you, because sometimes that's the secret shine. It's like when someone is humble, they actually like shine. You know what it is? You're going to shine more if you're humble, because people will like notice that in you. They will notice that. And this also may be a challenge to kind of like, we'll see when we clarify, but there may be issues with a fire sign or a King of Wands type figure. That is your challenge to kind of like, there may be a remedy for that frequency with the Page of Pentacles. And I know that some of you don't want to hear that, but it seems like there's some sort of foolish, like, because here's the thing, in what you don't see coming, you have the Fool card, and it's like walking into the King of Pentacles. So it's almost like walking off of a cliff. So I kind of feel like maybe there's some sort of reining in type of frequency for you or someone around you, etc. Or a new beginning in relation to that. We'll see. For some of you here, for Leos, there's definitely a King of Wands type figure that you may be entering into a relationship with. Okay, for some of you, there may be a challenge in order to make that work, in order to make that actually happen. And there may be a lack of, and for some of you, this is about surrounding yourself. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. For a lot of you, what I get is this is about surrounding yourself with King of Wands type figures if you don't have any of those around you. Like, you need crazy people. You need people that just do their own thing and love themselves. Because in general, the King of Wands loves themselves. That's why they're the King of Wands. So maybe it's like a challenge if that makes you feel uncomfortable to like have that uplifting, inspirational kind of person around you. But for others of you, you have to tailor that to the way that you feel about the message. For the collectives, right? For you personally, though. So in your overall general energy, I kind of want to clarify this. You have the Two of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and the Judgment card here. So there could be a lack of stability or feeling like you're stuck in a stable situation that doesn't satisfy you. And then there's a challenge to call judgment on that and to do the dirty work to get out of it. So some of you, this could be just like stuck in a stable job, stuck in a stable relationship. And I think by the end of the month, though, it's in alignment. It lines right up with that Catalyst card, where there's a judgment type of situation where if you do the inner work, if you love yourself here, there may be a dramatic shift in that type of frequency, and you may be surprised how it works out. For some of you, this is going to bring a completely new relationship into your life, though, in a way that is quite shocking, potentially, for some of you. So just be aware of that. And then when it comes to what you don't see coming, you have the Fool, the Ten of Cups, and also the Nine of Wands. So this is all about a new beginning related to your happily ever after desires. And the Ten of Cups is really about, your long-term emotional goals is what I'll say. There needs to be some sort of, in what you don't see coming, there's going to be a new beginning related to your long-term emotional goals. And I feel like that for a lot of you, this has to do with that Page of Pentacles frequency. When it comes down to like tracking things or like being happy about making progress towards that, or maybe going about it in a different way, kind of a value shift in your life to some sort of degree. And then you have the Nine of Wands, which has to do with unfinished business, but it also has to do with something that is worth going through struggle for. This person is like battered, but they're not broken. This person has been through a lot, but they're not willing to give something up. And for a lot of you, this could have to do with your family or the Ten of Cups type of frequency, where there's some sort of energy. For some of you, this could have to do with your long-term emotional goals and your happily ever after. There's some sort of new pace, new tone that you're going to set that's going to help balance whatever situation this is related to your Ten of Cups type of frequency. So we're going to have to clarify once again, because there's certainly something keeping that stuck as we speak. And when it comes to that coming in what you don't see coming, there could be some sort of unfinished business that kind of comes to the surface that is meant for you to deal with. Now, this is a weird reading where it's kind of like taking me down this path where it's not giving me the most immediate hits, which is interesting. But you have the Wheel of Fortune, the Four of Swords, and also the Five of Pentacles when it comes to your advice. So this is an interesting piece of advice. I feel that for a lot of you here, this is about first and foremost self-love. You see the Four of Swords person is kind of taking time out for themselves. Some of you, that Page of Pentacles is like you may be working yourself into the ground, working too hard. So there could be an element of spiritual integration here before you kind of burn out type of frequency. I feel for a lot of you, this is about self-love. These are two different types of frequencies. The Five of Pentacles is about, the advice is saying that you may be kind of on the outside of some sort of shelter that could help you, whether that's some sort of uplifting relationship, whether that's some sort of thing that you know you should be doing that you're not doing. So what are you not doing that you know you should be doing is kind of the thing. Now, here's the thing as well, is what I have to say. I think that there needs to be a big, and I'm getting chills as I'm saying this, a big mental reset for you or someone around you. Because the meaning of the five, it's a very big meaning. The Five of Pentacles is all about being so focused on your greater destiny that you miss the small steps that would actually allow you to reach that greater destiny. So in other words, these people are like, I need food, I need shelter, I need food, I need shelter, but my life is so screwed. Where's my destiny going to come into play? But this church is waiting for them. It's like a place for them to rest, but they're too focused on their greater destiny, so they miss it. It's funny that the Wheel of Fortune, which has to do with destiny and greater destiny, would also be right next to it in your advice. It would also be funny that the Page of Pentacles is in your opportunity and the King of Wands is in your challenge. So I feel like maybe this is for you or someone that is around you, where it's like, focus on the details and the greater destiny will come together on its own. Because human beings make plans and God laughs, or the Most High laughs, or the forces that are guiding us and our actual way that life's going to happen laugh. So that could be what's going on here, where there's something that you really just don't see coming, a major shift that you don't see coming that will rapidly increase your vibration. And the Judgment card is an interesting energy in your overall general energy relating to this. I feel for some of you here, it's like, yeah, it's a weird energy. It's a weird energy. So let's go ahead and get into this. Let's clarify why the Page of Pentacles is in your opportunity, Leo, for the month of June 2025. The Page of Pentacles is right next to the Two of Swords. It's also clarified by the Two of Swords. Clarified by the Two of Swords, the Eight of Wands, Ten of Wands, and the Page of Swords. So this is all about the masculine type of energies, the fire and the air element, which have to do with passion, ambition, and the mental quality of life in your opportunity. So that's interesting. I feel like there is this element here where there could be some sort of missing conversation, or the inability to express oneself, being locked in a situation that you need to work yourself out of in some sort of situation. For some of you, this could have to do with work. This could have to do with some sort of difficult challenge that you need to work yourself out of, and you just want to be the King of Wands about it, but that's not going to work. So you also have the Page of Swords and the Ten of Wands, which is all about getting more information about some sort of burden. So for a lot of you here, you may not even realize how burdened you are by a certain stagnant or stable situation in your life. So, and it may have to do with like, I'm not going to do this or that because I'm so focused on my greater destiny, so I'm just going to say stable. I'm going to say stable in my greater destiny. But I don't know, it's not really, I'm not like fully connecting to this. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not fully connecting to this. I think that for some of you here, this may have to do with the inability to work hard, and for others of you, this has to do with working yourself into the grave. I actually do feel that. I feel like this is about, finding some sort of way to not overwork yourself and to find self-love for you if you're in that camp. For others of you, this may be the inability to do the small things, the inability to work hard, the inability to sacrifice in order to get what you want. Really just kind of, because the Two of Swords is about lack of information as well. So just remember, the world that we live in right now is not the same world that we've been living in. There's going to be changes ushering in that none of us can even possibly imagine. So be careful when it comes to thinking that this world is going to stay the same way that it is. And I'm not talking some sort of cute way that you need to download an AI thing, and some of you need to do that. But I'm not talking about like, oh, you need to make money with AI. That's how the world's changing. I'm talking about something that we can't even imagine. So, in other words, why burden yourself? Some of you need to like get more information from the universe about some sort of burdensome situation, and it's never going to be obvious, which may like haunt you. I don't know. It's kind of just like, what am I even going to do with that? Getting more information about what? Nothing? Yeah. So or about information that is concealed. You know what? I feel like that's kind of what it is too. Like someone may be hiding information, but this also may be divine guidance that you're so obsessed with the big picture that you miss your whole entire life. I think that's what it is. I think that you are so obsessed with the big picture of your life that you're not even living your life. And the parts that you do live, it's like in this hazy dream. Whack out of it, Petunia, and start living your life. But don't do it from a... I'm not telling you what to do. Let's clarify why the King of Wands is in your challenge. Page of Pentacles, Page of Wands, and also the Hierophant when it comes to your challenge. For some of you, this has to do with... Once again, it's funny that the Page of Pentacles would come out in your challenge again. This could have to do with younger people. 2 pages coming out. And the Hierophant has to do with, legal structures, orthodoxy, religions, the law, the state, the government. So the bridge between the heavens and the earth in a more so standardized way for the masses to take in. So maybe there's some sort of stress around that, and there could be a real issue around that, and how that kind of limits authenticity. Well, if that's the case, then some of you are needing to get a nun out of your head. Because this could be the Vesta frequency that is gone wrong. For some of you here, this has to do with overcoming like religious shame and like not understanding how that like holds you back, or like something to do with that. Some of you, this has to do with like, do I want to be like how does it all fit together? I don't know. It's a confusing reading. But honestly, Leo, let's clarify why the 2 of Swords is here in your overall general energy, since it came out in your opportunity about like information that you can't get. Chariot, Judgment. Some of you are obsessing about your greater destiny because you can't even believe how divinely protected that you are. So you're worrying about things that aren't going to happen. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Judgment, and the Chariot are in your overall general energy. Clarifying the two of Swords. So I feel like this is about not understanding that many of you have made agreements upon the decision to incarnate, and many of these agreements are pre-laid out for you in terms of, I will meet this person at this time, we'll do this at this time. I will have this experience at this time, I will have this theme at this time. But many of you, it comes down to specific things that the only way that you can miss those appointments that you set up prior is by spending your time worrying that you're going to miss the appointments. And it seems like you've been spending all of your time worrying that you're going to miss the appointments. So that by the time the appointments arrive, you're stuck in between a stripper that you want to be like and a nun who will never have sex at all. Now, for obviously that's an exaggerated analogy, but you get the idea. So I also feel like this is about a refusal of the call, perhaps, in some sort of area of your life. Now, my finger just started hurting me, so there's probably a little pixie stabbing my finger because we're going through pixie wars over here. And so, I don't know. This is an interesting reading. I am rusty when it comes to the tarot, that's for sure. In this particular reading. I think it's about understanding that you cannot, we all have free will. And there may be a situation for some of you now that I'm getting where there is a lot of pressure being put on you to willingly give up your free will to make you feel like you don't have a choice when it comes to your destiny, but you always do. Now, this pressure may be coming from Hierophant type of energies. I'm not going to let you start that. You can't do that. Some sort of external authority that you need to overcome, maybe with your King of Wands, keeping the long-term vision in the future while just working hard. But for some of you, your wires are crossed and you need to be like, you're not even taking that first step and you're worrying about your life too much. So don't spend your time avoiding what is here now, avoiding the steps that you can take now, focusing on your greater destiny to the point where you miss your life now. So with that being said, I think that you're due for some self-love, some uplifting relationships, and be ready for a dramatic increase in your life. But if you don't create, or not even once again, if you don't create your life, someone else will create it for you. And in this case, it's going to be a bunch of people you don't actually like. So that being said, I'm going to conclude this reading. Bye.